What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the Full 90. Now, in a very busy run for the channel, I am finally bringing Europa League into the mix, and I did do a load of predictions, in my head for the round of 32. I didn't make a video because I felt like that was just a bit too many games for the Europa League to make one video on, but I did extremely well, and I thought, obviously, now that it's the round of 16, I would give you my predictions, and there are some tasty fixtures in here, and I'm excited to get this started. So why not let me know your predictions down in the comments for the Europa League. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the bell so you don't miss a single upload. The next video on the channel will be the Premier League Week 30 predictions, and just want to say my predictions lately have been going fairly well. I would probably jinx that, and maybe this week I'll completely fail. But anyway, we're here, Europa League, round of 16, first leg, and we're kicking it off with Dynamo Zagreb against Benfica. Now, Zagreb, they're doing obviously extremely well domestically, but the level of competition of the Europa League is much higher, as often is with the teams that do very well domestically and then are in the Europa League. And Benfica, they're obviously doing well domestically in a more challenging league, but they're definitely in the top. I think they're in the top 3. I know that for certain of the Portuguese Premier League. And I think Zagreb are solid, and they're obviously much better at home. A lot of teams like Zagreb are much better at home, and it's hard to go to those sort of places, Eastern Europe, and get the win, especially for someone like Benfica, I would say. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 scoreline in this game. I do predict that Benfica, obviously they were in the Champions League and they did do fairly well, and they are doing well domestically at a higher standard. I think Benfica will just be looking for an away goal here, and they would settle with a 1-1 draw to then try and take it to their home ground in Portugal and get the win. So I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw, and probably looking forward to see Benfica progress through to the quarterfinals of the Europa League after the second leg. The next fixture is a very juicy one, and that is Eintracht Frankfurt against Inter Milan. Frankfurt are doing very well domestically. I'm pretty sure they're one of the only teams to beat Bayern Munich at their ground, maybe. I'm not sure if I'm making that up. I know there was some kind of statistic between Frankfurt beating Bayern Munich. So yeah, but they're doing very well. They score a lot of goals, and Inter Milan, they're Inter Milan. They're decent, but I think actually at this home leg, Frankfurt are going to get the better of Inter. It would not surprise me. This is how I could honestly see this going. My score prediction for this game is 2-1 to Eintracht Frankfurt. It wouldn't surprise me if it's 2-1 to Frankfurt in Germany, and then when it goes over to Inter Milan, they get a 1-0 win, and the aggregate is 2-2, and Inter Milan go through on away goals, because Inter Milan tend to keep it quite tight, and I think they're very capable of keeping a clean sheet at home, despite Frankfurt's attacking power. I think Inter Milan are professional enough to be able to keep them at bay. If it were to be a 2-1 scoreline in this leg, I think they would obviously then know they have to get a 1-0 win, much like Liverpool did to Napoli. I think Inter Milan are capable of doing that same thing here, but I am going to go with a Frankfurt 2-1 win. I think it's a very exciting tie for the round of 16. The next game, Stade Rennes, or Rennes, however you want to say it, against Arsenal. Now this, obviously, Arsenal, they do well. Unai Emery particularly does well in the Europa League. I believe he won it 3 times with Sevilla. But yeah, Arsenal, they're going to look to do well here. They're still obviously fighting for top 4 in the Premier League. The draw against Tottenham after the penalty miss from Aubameyang definitely hurts them a little bit, with Man United obviously, passing them now into 4th place. But I think Arsenal do have a run of winnable fixtures. So whether or not Arsenal aim to get to the Champions League through a top 4 spot or through winning the Europa League, they are going to go, I think, balls to the walls for both. Obviously, Emery is very good at rotating his squad for the Europa League and preparing them for that. And I think it's going to be a close game, because Rennes they were the underdogs in the previous round, I would say, against Real Betis, but they managed to get through, doing very well, and they're doing okay domestically. Obviously, they're not on Arsenal's level, and I think it's going to be a close game, and with Arsenal, they probably will rotate the squad a little bit, and I think they will concede, but I think they're going to get the upper hand with a couple of away goals here. I think that's going to be their plan, and then just finish the job at the Emirates. That's what you'd hope anyway, but obviously when they went to Borisov in the previous round, they let themselves down with some poor showings from a few players. Hopefully, I don't know if Lacazette, he will be back because he got suspended for the second leg against Borisov, but watching him against Tottenham, he did waste some key chances, so hopefully Lacazette will come back firing. Maybe he'll start, Emery will start Aubameyang. Maybe that was the plan, to give him a rest to then play in this game, because he only played for about 25 minutes against Tottenham. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Arsenal win. Maybe it'll be a 1-1 draw if Rennes really turn up, and then it will be all to do at the Emirates. I do, however, see Arsenal going through to the quarterfinals, which will obviously be good for me. And I think Arsenal are going to get the 2-1 win here. Quick side note, I've heard a couple people say in the comments, how can you call yourself an Arsenal fan if you predict Arsenal to lose? I've predicted Arsenal to lose a couple of times, but I want you to know that I'm kind of head over heart in these predictions. I'd love to say I think Arsenal will win every game, but I'm not biased. And, I try and look at games objectively, look at stats and go with gut feelings. And I've had a few dislikes on recent videos. Obviously, the PSG game, I said that they beat Man United by 2 goals. I got dislikes from Man United fans for that, and they did. I got a load of dislikes from Liverpool fans because I said that they wouldn't be able to beat Everton. I said it would be a draw. And then it was. So I'm just trying to make these predictions objectively. Obviously, I don't get everything right, but if I say something that you don't agree with or that you don't like because you support a team, you don't have to direct hate towards me. That's just my objective prediction. I've been doing quite well lately, so yeah, just want to put that out there. I think Arsenal are going to get the win. Now, Europa League veterans Sevilla hosting Slavia Prague. Now, Slavia Prague absolutely demolished Genk in the previous round, and I think Sevilla are going to do a very professional job here. And obviously, they're at home, so that when you're at home, the thing you don't want, you want to be able to get away without conceding an away goal, because if you can win at home to 0, you're looking very, very good. So I think Sevilla potentially, you might say this could be a 2-1, a 3-1 to Sevilla, but I think Sevilla are professional and good enough to be able to come away with this one unscathed, and I'm going to go with a 2-0 win to Sevilla. I think they'll be looking to go far in this competition. I'm not entirely sure how they're doing in terms of table positioning in La Liga. I know they're up there, but I'm not sure how many spots in La Liga go to Champions League. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure. Maybe it's 4. I don't know, but I think they will be able to do the job here over Slavia Prague, who are doing very, very well. Don't get me wrong. You can't count out Slavia Prague. It could be a 2-0 Sevilla win here and then a 2-1 Slavia Prague in the return leg, sending Sevilla through. I think Sevilla will go through to the quarterfinals. I'm going with a 2-0 win to them here. The next game is Zenit St. Petersburg versus Villarreal. Now, Villarreal, they're forming a Liga. Not great. They have some good games, but it's not great. Obviously, they've got the man himself, Santi Cazorla, my guy. But they're doing very, very well in Europa League. They are a team to be reckoned with. And I do see Villarreal actually progressing through to the quarterfinals. But I think it's going to be very, very close. Zenit are tough to beat at home. I would say Villarreal probably are a better team, maybe. It's going to be close either way, and that is why for this first leg I'm going to go with a cagey 1-1 draw. I think Villarreal will have enough to get that away goal that they need to kind of help them in the second leg when they play at home. This could be again a 1-1 draw, 2-0 in the return leg type thing. Maybe Zenit will surprise me. I mean, there's 8 fixtures here, obviously, and it wouldn't surprise me if 1 or 2 go completely the other way, because football's football, and that's why we do these predictions videos. You can't get them all right. But I'm going to go with a 1-1 draw between Zenit St. Petersburg and Villarreal. The next game is Chelsea versus Dynamo Kiev, and obviously Chelsea, they're looking all right. They looked good against Tottenham, and they got away with the 3 points against Fulham. Fulham had their chances, and that was always going to happen, but they managed to come away from that with the 3 points, and they go into this looking good in the Europa League, of course. And I think at home they need to ensure that they do the job. I think Dynamo Kiev are going to leave their hearts on the pitch, and I can see them nicking an away goal, making things interesting. But I'm going to go with a high scoring. I'm going to go with a high-scoring 3-1 here to Chelsea. This could be a kind of 0-0, 1-0 at half-time, and then a goal fest in the second half. That's the way I see it. Kind of like Chelsea against Malmo at Stamford Bridge. I mean, it might be tighter. Chelsea might win 1-0. It might be kind of dead like that. But I'm going for goals this time because I've kind of kept it fairly subdued up until this point. So I'm going to go for goals, and I'm going to go Chelsea 3, Dynamo Kiev 1. The next game, one of the favourites to win the Europa League for sure, Napoli against FC Salzburg. Now, Napoli suffered a defeat at home, their first defeat in a long time, to Juventus, 2-1, but they were unlucky to get, nothing out of that game. The keeper got sent off for, I guess, disrupting Ronaldo's run, even though he didn't really touch him, but I can see, maybe a yellow card, I don't know. And then the free kick went over the wall of someone in the wall who didn't jump, and the person who was substituted off to compensate for the red card would have been there in the wall to save that free kick, because it wasn't top bins from Pjanic when it went in. Then obviously Juventus got a second, and then they got a red card. Pjanic himself got sent off, and Napoli played really, really well. To be honest, they were actually quite good, very comfortable against Juventus. To be honest, they were unlucky to get nothing. And honestly, if I had to pick my favourite for the tournament, I would go with Napoli. And I'm going to go with a 3-0 win here against Salzburg. 3-0. 3-0, 3-1. I'll go with 3-0 because I went 3-0 Chelsea, but 3-1's my backup because Salzburg are a force to be reckoned with. They have a great Europa League record this year, and they're very good at going forward and scoring goals. It's just unfortunate for them that they are coming up against probably, at the moment, certainly the strongest team in the Europa League, because Inter have been struggling here and there. Arsenal have been doing fairly well, but then they're Arsenal, they're a bit inconsistent, and Chelsea, they've been inconsistent as well. I think Napoli are the strongest and most consistent performing team, even in Europe as well, at the moment, and I think it's unfortunate for Salzburg, who are a good team themselves, to come up against Napoli. And the final game is Valencia against Krasnodar. Krasnodar doing very well to get to this stage. They went through against Bayer Leverkusen, I believe, which that was one of the shocks I think that I actually got wrong. But yeah, I think Valencia are very good. They're very tight. They can keep a goal, keep the goals down. I'm predicting under 2.5 in this one. I would say it's a choice between a 1-1 because Valencia draw a lot of games, or a 2-0, but I'm backing Valencia at home, who need to get the job done. Obviously, they're from the Champions League coming down here, and they did do well in their group with Man United and Juventus. I'm going with a 2-0 win here to Valencia. I think they can get the job done. So I would say, looking at these fixtures, going through to the quarterfinals would be Valencia, Napoli, Chelsea, Villarreal, Sevilla, Arsenal, Benfica, and Inter Milan and Frankfurt is probably one of the tastiest ties, and one that I'm least sure on. I'll edge Inter maybe, but honestly, I can see Frankfurt going through as well. That's one I really couldn't predict right now. But yeah, that is going to do it for this video. If you did enjoy it, be sure to leave a like on it. Subscribe today, turn on the bell so you don't miss another upload. And let me know your comments for the Europa League first leg for the round of 16 predictions. I love to read them. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video very soon.